Hello, welcome, and thanks for joining us on this edition of News 2. I'm Sandra Gamansing. Education Commissioner Dr. LaVerne Terry has resigned. Governor John DeYoung made the announcement Thursday during a teleconference with reporters. He named Assistant Commissioner Donna Gregory as acting commissioner and talked about Terry's accomplishments during her time as commissioner. News 2's Erica Parsons has that story.
During a teleconference with local reporters late Thursday, Governor DeYoung said Dr. LaVerne Terry will be leaving her post as head of the Department of Education at the end of April.
Today, I accepted the resignation of the Commissioner of Education, LaVerne Terry, which will be effective at the end of April. For some time now, Commissioner Terry and her family have been dealing with the illness of a family member, and she expressed to me both in discussions that we've had and also a resignation letter that she believed that a point had been reached where she could no longer take care of her family member long distance.
In Terry's place, the governor said he will be appointing Assistant Commissioner Donna Gregory as the acting commissioner of education effective May 1st. Governor DeYoung praised Dr. Terry for her accomplishments since her confirmation in 2008, listing her leadership over the adoption of the Common Core state standards into the territory school curriculum, as well as other accomplishments.
She's been extremely instrumental in moving the school system forward and, quite frankly, in improving the educational system for our children. From dealing with issues ranging from the third-party fiduciary to putting in place a technology plan, Commissioner Terry has been a driving force.
Assistant Commissioner Gregory has worked with the department a number of years. She herself served as Education's acting commissioner in 2007. Her bio says prior to serving as the assistant commissioner, she was the deputy commissioner for fiscal and administrative services. Before that, she served as the department's director of administrative services. Erica Parsons, News 2.
Governor DeYoung also said publicly he is grateful to Dr. Terry for her commitment and contributions to the VI's education system. A prisoner who escaped from Golden Grove Prison Tuesday is back behind bars. According to a statement from the Bureau of Corrections, former Superior Court Marshal Nicholas Miller broke jail Tuesday night. From that time until early Wednesday, Miller led law enforcement officers on a hunt. He was cited several times and finally apprehended after a chase on the east end of St. Croix. Miller had been arrested April 15th on charges of second-degree robbery. Officials say they've started an investigation to find out how Miller escaped. More than 60 prison inmates were transferred over the weekend. Bureau of Corrections officials said a total of 65 prisoners were either transferred to St. Croix or other prison facilities on the mainland. 38 inmates were transferred from Golden Grove to stateside prisons, while 19 inmates from St. Thomas were transferred to Golden Grove and 8 were sent to stateside facilities. Officials said the transfers were because of management, security, and consolidation efforts. Family members seeking information about the transfers should contact Corrections, Golden Grove, or the Criminal Justice Complex. The Virgin Islands Experimental Program to Stimulate Competitive Research, EPSCoR, held their annual conference this past weekend. EPSCoR promotes the development of the territory's science and technology resources by conducting research, by increasing participation of students in science and technology, and by building partnerships between government, non-governmental organizations, and the private sector. Governor John P. DeYoung addressed the conference.
As the university has invested the resources that are necessary to be able to do the research that is there. What the university has done with the biocomplexity of the coral reef, the valuation study that we're now doing at Planning and Natural Resources to understand more of what the coral reefs mean, where we're going, what we're doing. What Caribbean Fisheries is doing with respect to limiting the catch fish that's taking place, the evasiveness of gill net fishing, all as part of understanding the Marine Center and what's taking place altogether. Truly is an understanding that starts more than anything at this university in the core competency of marine science, but in a partnership that starts with the McLean Center, funded and supported by EPSCoR and the National Science Foundation, and a leadership at the university that understands that we just can't expense, but we have to invest.
Well, in some breaking news, the FBI released videos of 2 men wanted for questioning in the Boston Marathon bombing. The images come just 3 days after the attack, which killed 3 people and injured more than 170. And just hours after President Obama visited the city, which is still in shock. CBS's Vanetta Nair is in Boston and joins us with the latest on the manhunt now underway.
They are among the most wanted men in America. The FBI released photos and videos of two men wanted for questioning in Monday's deadly bombing at the Boston Marathon. Both men are seen walking through the crowd, wearing baseball caps and carrying backpacks believed to be containing the bombs.
Suspect 2 set down a backpack at the site of the second explosion just in front of the Forum restaurant.
The images were taken from security cameras near the bomb sites. Investigators are hoping someone will recognize them and help law enforcement find them.
Though it may be difficult, the nation is counting on those with information to come forward and provide it to us.
The big break in the case came just hours after President Obama delivered a rousing speech to the bombing victims and to the city of Boston itself at an interfaith service. President Obama came to Boston with an inspirational message for the victims of the marathon bombings, including those who lost limbs in the attack.
We will all be with you as you learn to stand and walk and, yes, run again. Of that I have no doubt. You will run again.
The First Lady and former Massachusetts Governor Mitt Romney were among the dignitaries who joined the president at the historic Cathedral of the Holy Cross. The president said the deadly attack did not intimidate the city of Boston.
It should be pretty clear by now that they picked the wrong city to do it. Not here in Boston.
The president also visited with marathon volunteers and thanked them for helping victims at the bombing site. Vanita Nair, CBS News, Boston.
In other news, rescue workers in the central Texas town of West are searching for survivors of last night's fertilizer plant explosion. Early estimates put the death toll between 5 and 15, and 160 others are injured. Search and rescue crews are going door to door looking for survivors. The massive blast shook the ground with the force of a small earthquake, destroying nearby homes and businesses. One of the firefighters who was feared missing has been found. He is being treated in the hospital with serious injuries. A nearby nursing home had to be evacuated when the roof caved in. There's no word yet on what caused that explosion. The FBI have arrested a Mississippi man in connection with a suspicious letters sent to President Obama and a U.S. Senator. Police surrounded the home of 45-year-old Paul Kevin Curtis Wednesday night before taking him into custody. Authorities believe Curtis is responsible for sending the letters that tested positive for the poison ricin to President Obama and Senator Roger Wicker from Mississippi. Family members said Curtis felt like the government mistreated him. The letters never made it to Washington. They were intercepted at a mail testing facility in Maryland. Keeping our eye on the economy, the job market is on the rebound after slowing in March. The Labor Department says last week's applications for unemployment rose slightly to 352,000, a level consistent with modest hiring. This week, Google will begin distributing its much-anticipated Google Glasses. 8,000 people who entered a contest paid $1,500 for a test version. Some computer programmers also get to try the glasses out. This is the New York Stock Exchange with Scotiabank Stock Market Watch. Everything down. The Dow 81, NASDAQ 38, S&P 10. Coming up on News 2, some more highlights of the tasty treats and celebrity chefs from the St. Croix Food and Wine Experience. Plus, in our Carnival Corner, Lionel Roberts Stadium was brimming with spectators and boiling over with excitement Wednesday for a night full of VI culture, costumes, and competition. And village preparations are underway for Friday's opening. We'll be right back. Flashing knives, blind taste testing, and beach cooking. It was all part of the 4th annual Food Fight at Eat at Cane Bay restaurant. Celebrity chefs Mike Latta, Paul DeSilvia, Simon Stovanovic, and Joseph DeSimone participated in this fun St. Croix Food and Wine Experience event. The audience witnessed knife skills, taste tests, and even got to participate in the Q&A segment. The highlight, making a Crucian stew on the beach, complete with a swim to the boat to get the special ingredients. When the cooking was done, the testing began, and the crowd got to eat and vote for the winner. For the first time in Food Fight history, it was a tie.
Somehow we got in there. Simon tried to drown me in 4 foot of water. Blew out my calf muscle, but we rallied back Paula's got an awesome palette. She killed it and brought us way back into the game, and we tied it up.
We won for real. Like I know we did. I know they made it a tie, but I think they just have to do that. But we know we won, Team Lionfish. So.
Congrats, Team Lionfish. Well, it's time for our Carnival Corner as the Virgin Islands gear up for the most exciting week of carnival activities. The VIPD says you should keep safety in mind in between all the fun. During a press conference on Thursday, police officials offered some tips. That time of year when people kick back and have some fun, but while you're out enjoying the festivities, it's also important to remember that safety always comes first. VIPD officials offered some tips.
Next couple of functions are coming up, the large functions starting with the boat races, food fair, juve, the parades, horse races. In light of the incident that happened in Boston, we have taken some additional measures to look out for these type of situations that may happen here. It can happen anywhere. We're asking individuals to be vigilant, look out for anyone who may drop a bag or do something that doesn't look to be the norm, to notify the closest police officer. And in notifying the closest police officer, you don't get satisfaction, you call 911. You don't get satisfaction, you can call Crime Stoppers.
Designate a meeting spot in case family members become separated. Color coordinate clothing for easy identification and wear bright colors. Place a note labeled with the child's name and parental information inside his or her pocket, and make sure small children know parents' names, addresses, and telephone numbers. These are some of the tips.
Because we are finding over the years that we are missing minors when we're minors, and also minors are getting injured in and out of the children village, whether major or minor. That is a growing concern. Some of our major concerns will be the selling of replica firearms, knives to minors. We are asking the vendors not to, plain out not to sell them at all. The outside businesses that selling knives and so forth, we are asking them not to sell it to anybody under the age of 20 till after the carnival season. We are asking the vendors, as the carnival coordinator stated, that outside vendors pay attention to minors. If they have any question whether they are minors, do not sell it to them. Ask for identification. We are asking the parents when they are bringing the kids to the children village to accompany them.
Some more tips: always be aware of your surroundings. Do not drink and drive, and park in well-lit areas. And finally, do not leave valuable items visible in your vehicle. Instead, lock items in your trunk.
We allow parking on Main Street as usual, the usual parking areas. However, as you're going down Main Street, there's no parking on the left side of the road as you're going down Main Street.
Also, they want you to keep curfew in mind, and curfew again is 10 o'clock. Meanwhile, Department of Public Works Commissioner Darryl Small advises the motoring public that the road closure and detour in Comprinsen's-Gata, Route 308, between Gata and General Gata on the south side of Rothschild Francis Market Square, that was implemented in January 2013, will be discontinued, and traffic will resume to its original two-way traffic pattern beginning on Friday, April 19th. Construction activities are expected to resume in early May 2013 once all of the carnival activities have ended. Well, the Lionel Roberts Stadium was brimming with spectators and boiling over with excitement Wednesday for a night full of VI culture, costumes, and competition. In the end, and King and Queen of the Band were named to rule over this year's carnival. Here are some of the sights and sounds. The Adelita Cancrine 21st Century Marching Band started the night's activities with their young musicians and dancers gave a lively performance. There were several traditional and familiar acts. These included the more experienced quadrille dancers and the younger Holy Family Youth and Joseph Gomez cultural dancers. Also performing were majorette groups dressed in sparkling outfits, the Charming Twirlers majorettes, the Sebastians, and lots more. And of course, one of the highlights of Carnival is definitely the village. But behind that tropical scene, there's a lot of hard work that goes into getting everything ready for opening night. We take you for a quick behind-the-scenes look. There's a lot of banging, painting, and stocking of shelves going on at the Fort Christian parking lot. It's a big deal when it's all said and done because it will be transformed into Chico's Tropical Paradise, a meeting place for friends, lots of food, and entertainment. With many booths and designs already outlined, That also requires a lot of work, but those who do it say they love it.
First of all, I grew from store to store looking at magazines where I can get ideas from. And I also, ask certain people that know the individual about them and how they make some of them.
It's like something which sometimes we run late even to the day for opening. But I just hope everything work out all right.
It's very tedious, especially when in prepping the work as far as sketching it out and whatnot. But once it's sketched out, then I can go forward. But most of the work is in the sketching. So far, this is my fourth one. I have at least, believe it or not, 8 to 9 more.
What do most people look forward to each year?
A lot of seafood. A lot of seafood, and just checking out everybody will come from abroad.
And of course, the young ones will be able to enjoy the Children's Village with Coney Island Ride.
I just want everybody to have a great time, enjoy the carnival as usual, like how we did it back in the days, and just everybody have fun.
Final competition at the Lionel Roberts Stadium. Calypsonians hit the stage. And then, of course, as we were just talking about, the big event, the St. Thomas Carnival Village, honoring Sir Frederick Anthony Larson of Chico's Distributing. That opens April 19th, 6 p.m. at the Ford Christian parking lot with a ribbon-cutting ceremony and presentation. And here's a look at the bands lined up for the entertainment. Now, kicking off the first night, things kick off with music from Red Lion Sounds, Awi Pumpa and Sherwin Winchester out of Trinidad. Now, each night in the village, there's an interesting theme, including Throwback Sunday, International Cultural Night, and Captain Morgan's Night. Governor John P. DeYoung has signed a proclamation authorizing administrative leave for government workers during the celebration of the 61st anniversary of Carnival. And here it is, on St. Thomas, St. John only, Wednesday, April 24th, Food, Arts and Crafts Fair Day from 12 noon to 5 p.m. rather. And then on Thursday, April 25th, Juve from 8 a.m. to 5. Territory-wide, on Friday, April 26th, Children's Parade Day, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. DeYoung said Virgin Islands Carnival has become one of the region's top festivals, attracting thousands of people to the islands. Stick around, your News 2 AccuWeather forecast is coming up next.